Hello.
Hello, teacher.
Hi, Rayane. How is it going?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, I hope everything is okay. And sorry for being late. It's been just like 10 minutes. Right. Well, last time, if I remember, we dealt with the lesson about sentence types. That was the lesson of the previous session. So can you remember?
No,
Yeah, what is it?
it was prefixes.
And also we began a lesson about prefixes. Great. Oh, that sounds great. Well, let's okay. So we had a lesson about prefixes. Great. It was our first session maybe about okay. Yeah, that's it. Great. Yes. Okay, so what do we mean by a prefix? What do we mean by a prefix?
A prefix is an like a
Mhm.
uh, it's an can can you guess can guess you what the word
Can can
means?
can help you guess
Can you help you guess
the
the
meaning.
word the meaning of the word?
Very
Yeah.
good. Yeah, it's help. They help us guess the meaning of the word, whether it's the opposite or it's something different. Because prefixes are not only used to indicate antonymy, right? To indicate the opposite, but they may be used for other uses, as we are going to see today, right? We're going to explore the different meanings of prefixes in English. And they are very important because they make your vocabulary repertoire larger and larger, guys. Well, I'm gonna just share with you some, okay, just to remind you of some of the, to revise some of the prefixes that we have seen last time, or some of the words, or rather, that we have seen.
Yeah.
So I give you a word, and then you give me you add the appropriate suffix, prefix, right, to the word. Well, let's start with the word patience. Patience. What do you think is
Impa
mhm,
Impatience.
appropriate prefix will be im, right? Impatience, right? Good. How about legal?
Illegal.
Illegal. Good job, right? Lucky.
Unlucky.
Unlucky to indicate the opposite, right? Well, how about kind? Kind.
Unkind.
Unkind, very good. Yes. Let's say curable, curable. I mean, it can be cured, it can be treated, right? Curable,
Incurable.
incurable, very good. Yes. Relevant, relevant. See that the word begins with R. Most of the adjectives, most of the frequent adjectives that begin with R.
Hello, teacher.
Prefix is yeah. Can you hear me? Hello.
Irrelevance.
We say irrelevant, okay? We form the, opposite by adding IR. Very good. Yes. How about honest? Honest.
Uh, Dishonest.
It's honest. Very good. Yes. Let's take limited. Limited.
Unlimited.
What is it?
ليش؟
It's we cannot
Unlimited. Unlimited.
unlimited, right? Yeah. Remember that the general rules that we talked about sometimes, and most of the adjectives that begin with L, we add E, I, L, and so on. This is not to be overgeneralized, right? ما خصناش نعمموا أكثر من اللازم because there are exceptions, guys. But this general rule helps, right? Well, polite,
Impolite.
impolite. What does it mean impolite? Someone who is
Uh,
polite. Some students are
غير مثقف.
Not really. It's not, right. It's not illiterate. It doesn't mean illiterate.
يعني غير
Polite.
م... مؤد...
Yeah,
مؤدب.
that's it. Very good. Yeah. I always say polite. It means someone who behaves in a good way and in appropriate way with respect, respectfully. But impolite is someone who doesn't behave with respect, okay? So they don't respect others. Okay, that sounds good. The last example for revision will be respectful.
Disrespectful.
Disrespectful. C'est très bien, right? Very nice. You know, right? In order to improve and progress, we always need to do revision, right? So revision is very important, right? So there are some students who doesn't revise, who never revise their lessons at all, right? They just, you know, go to school, right? They attended the class. If they learn something in class, it's okay. Otherwise, they will never learn anything beyond the class, right? They don't make any efforts. And this is not, you know, right? This is not normal, right? We cannot, one bird cannot fly with one wing. There must be two wings, right? Flying, right, and moving together, right, in order for this bird to fly and achieve, you know, what we want and learn. So that's very important. What you're doing is so great, actually. Keep revising whatever, great, inshallah, we do whatever we learn inside the class. Okay, that sounds good. So I'm going to share with you the exercise that we had last time. We stopped at the quiz in which we are going to apply the first thing that we learned. I mean, a group of adjectives that we learned. We are going to see exactly what prefixes are. Okay, so let's start with number one here. We have my grandma or my grandmother has never been to school. She has never been to school, okay? She doesn't know how to read or write. She is, she
Illiterate.
can't read or nor write. Very good. She is illiterate. Great. Illiterate. Great. Very good. Yes. Okay, so we have literate. It's someone who is educated. We say literate. Great. But illiterate, yet it's the opposite. Great. All right. Yeah. Illiterate. Good job. Let's see number two. It is to make copies of DVDs for commercial purposes.
Illegal.
It is illegal, right? Yes. Did you understand the statement? Do you understand this?
Yes.
Okay, so it's illegal normally to make a copy of a DVD.
Copyright.
Oh yeah, yeah, you are violating the copyrights because the copyrights are all reserved to, let's say, either the publisher or the author, right? So that's part of you know, illegal rights behavior or unlawful. It's also possible to say here unlawful, right? It's unlawful, right? It's against the law, right? To do that. Well, let's move to number three. You missed the points, right? I mean, what you're seeing is beside the point. خارج الموضوع, right? ما خديتيش الفكرة مزيان. Your answer to the questions is
illogical.
What is it?
Illogical or incorrect?
Incorrect. It's possible. Illogical, غير منطقي. It's also possible. Good. Now we need to use these adjectives that we learned from, you know, the lists. All right, remember that this exercise is relevant. Okay, we're talking about relevance. Is relevant to these words. We need to choose from the list that we have here. Okay, so look at the question. Add the following prefixes to the adjectives in the box to make their opposite. Then complete the sentences below. Of course, complete the sentences with the appropriate adjectives from the list. So
illogical.
You have a logical, illogical, yes, sir.
In the first case.
But here, we are not talking about logic. We are talking about relevance, okay? That your answers, you know, are not relevant. They are beside the point. They are not, you missed the point. So we see here, I mean,
irrelevant.
The best, yeah, that's it. Very good. Yeah, the best adjective to describe that is irrelevant. Irrelevant يعني ما عنده علاقة بالموضوع, right? خرجت على الموضوع, you missed the point, right? Okay, so we say it's irrelevant. Right? A student, right, sometimes, you know, goes or comes to the teacher and then complain in order to complain about the mark that he got, for instance, you know, in a specific answer to a question. Teacher, great, I answered this, you know, correctly. Look, great. And you start, you know, arguing and so on. And then the teacher says, I'm sorry, right? Your answer is irrelevant. It means it's beside the point, right? Well, let's move to number 4. Many people think that today's youth are, and they don't think of the consequences of their acts and are sometimes rude.
Many people think that today's youth are irresponsible and disrespectful.
Excellent job, great. Disrespectful, or there is another word which is impolite, right?
Impolite.
But disrespectful is also correct. Very good, excellent job. So someone who don't think of the consequences of their acts. شخص معين لا يفكر في عواقب أفعاله. هذا كان نقول إنسان غير مسؤول, right? We say it's irresponsible. Great job, right? It's irresponsible. I don't know if it's here, right? It does, I think, irreplaceable, no, right? Irresponsible. Yes, good. And we have here the second part of the statement is they are sometimes rude. شي مرات دي فض في المعاملة, right? So it means impolite or disrespectful. Let's say impolite, right? I think this one is straightforward, right? Well, impolite, good. Well, I think this is the case actually. If you see the, I remember at a certain time, at our time, right, what we refer to as the golden age or the golden time, we use it to, to fear our teachers. Of course, not because, they are monsters, but out of respect, out of politeness, because we respect them a lot, right? We are so polite with our teachers, right? If a teacher, right, sometimes maybe may beat you, right, or may complain, right, shout in your face, or may even beat you, as I said, and so on. However, we never, right, beat them back or respond with the rude and the violence behavior. We always respect them. But what we see today is that they never care about teachers at all. Be you complain, right? Sometimes they try to respond, right? To react in a violent way against their teachers. Well, okay, so here we said number 5, riding a motorcycle without a helmet, right? You know what a helmet is?
Yes.
Okay, is not only, but you also may be fined for it.
Unsafe.
And safe. Great, very good, great. It's not only unsafe, okay, and there are many possibilities here, great. Riding a motorcycle without a helmet here in Morocco is not only according to the law, right, is illegal, right? It's unlawful. It's against the law, right? Okay, but you do, right, but you also may be fined for it, right? Let's say unsafe is good too, or insecure is also possible, right? Insecure is also possible, right? But let's see unsafe, one word is okay. Very nice. It's unsafe because if you fall down, right, you may get hurt, right? On your head, right, and you might die because it's that's really risky, right? Well, but you also may be fined for it. What is meant to be fined for something? To be for something. If the police caught you without a helmet, you might be fined for that.
You can't you can't run away from that problem
That's
or
not really great. So that's irrelevant. Great. That's beside the point. Great. You might be fined. They might, right? They might give you a ticket, as we say in English, right? To give someone a ticket, right? A police gives a ticket to a driver or whosoever, right? That means they will have to pay. They will have to pay some sort of a tax, or because of the violation of the rules, right? Or the law, right? So a fine, right? A fine as a noun, of course, we say I am fine, thank you. As an adjective, it means I am good and so on. I am fine. But here it doesn't mean that, right? A fine is money, right? It's a sum of money that you have to pay because you have violated some rules, right? Okay,
Yeah.
it means to give a ticket, right? Right. Okay, it has to do with the tickets, right? يعني الغرامة كما نقول في العربية تغرم يعني تفرض عليك غرامة, right? You might be fined for that, right? Because you violated the rules. Well, I often feel in a place where there are people smoking. How do you
I
feel when you are in a place where people are smoking?
uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable, very good. لا أشعر بارتياح, very good. I feel uncomfortable in a place where there are people smoking. Very nice, good. Comfortable.
I think
There
we
is
are
something.
uh,
Yeah, uncomfortable.
teacher sex.
What is that? Ah, that's yeah, for number 6, yes. Okay, so what is that? Okay, let's go back to number 6, right? Uncomfortable is for number 7. Now you were too hard on him. You were too hard or too rude, right, on him. It was of you to treat him the way you did.
Illegal or unfair.
Unfair, maybe acceptable, but illegal, it doesn't make sense. I mean, we're talking about the way you behave. Maybe you behaved with someone in a rude way. You're not so kind. You weren't so kind with a certain person, right? Okay. Maybe you
Unfair.
shout in front of him, at his face. We say,
Unfair.
unfair, not really. Unfair if we're talking about justice or something, right? You're talking about behavior. The way you behave is so rude. So what's the opposite? If you behave with someone in a gentle way, in what do we say? In a nice way, we say that you are so kind. But
Yeah.
if you behave in a rude way, we say that was
Unkind.
unkind, right? Okay, unkind. If someone, great, behaved, treated you in a nice way, شيء تتعامل معك معاملة حسنة مزيان ظريف كما كنقولوا very kind. say ايش كتقول لي؟ اعطاك مثلا وريضة ولا اعطاك I don't know, right, a prize or whatever, اعطاك شي هدية, right, surprise. Oh, thank you very much. That's so kind of you. هذه العبارة اللي كنقولوها بالانجلي, right? هذا لطف منك, شكرا, هذا لطف منك. That's
Yeah.
so kind. That's kind of you, guys. Say that's. Sorry about that. That's great. That you say that's kind of you. Thank you. That's kind of you. Right. I have a lot for me. Right. Good. Well, he is often with the employer. Let's move to number 8. Yes, from the very beginning. So Mr. Johnson is a very demanding manager. Right. A very demanding manager. Demanding, right? Let's see. He is often what? With his employees' work. Let's complete the sentence to understand what it does to be too demanding or very demanding. Yes.
Dissatisfied.
Dissatisfied. Very good. Right. He never feels satisfied with his workers' job, right? The boss asks you to write a report about the tasks or the projects that, has recently been accomplished. And then when you wrote the report, you made a lot of efforts in order to make your best and so on to write a good report. And then on the following morning, you handed in, right, the report, let's say, to your boss, and then you say, no, right, there are a lot of things that you need to change. Great, you got to change this and this. The schedule is not that, right. So it try to find, he never feels satisfied. We say this person is too demanding. يعني إنسان
Yeah.
right طلباته كثيرة right يعني لا يرضيه عمل معين right. That's too demanding. Yes. You got to do this and do this and do this and do this and right. Yeah, right. That's too much, guys. Well, let's see number 8. We say is often, all right. So this is what we said. We say dissatisfied. Oh, sorry about that. Dissatisfied with his employee's work. Number 9, the student sitting next to me he is always cheating in exams.
Dishonest.
Dishonest, excellent job. Great, yes, dishonest. Someone who is dishonest is someone who is not telling the truth, or someone maybe who is cheating, right? What?
Yeah.
You'll have just like 5 minutes and you give it to me, right? No more 5 minutes, right? Well, sorry about that. Okay, dishonest, right? Yes, dishonest. It means someone who doesn't say the truth or someone who is cheating, right? Yes. Well, number 10, right? My brother hates standing in queues, right? Okay, you know the queues?
Yes.
طوابير الانتظار, right? It is a very person.
Impatience.
Impatient, excellent job, very good. Yes, excellent job, great. He is very impatient. He can't wait, great. He's never patient, great. Okay, so that's it, great. Well, now it's time to discover and explore the meanings of the many great prefixes that we have seen, right, and the many others that we haven't seen yet. Okay, so any prefix, as we said, has got a certain meaning, and not necessarily the opposite. It does not always mean the opposite of the word or the adjective or whatever, but it may have a different meaning. Great. Well, we got the prefix number 1 here, re or re. The meaning of this word means to of this prefix means simply to do something again. Rewrite, read again, right? It means you got to do it again, right? Example here we have reread, rewrite, and so on, right? Now, en or n. When you find this, prefix added to a verb, or that means you make something, or you cause to be, or you put into. As we said, enlarge. To enlarge something, it means to make it large. To enlighten, right? To enlighten something, it means to make it light, right? To make it light and clear, right? And to enrich, to make something rich, right? As we are speaking here, okay, so there was maybe a lecture, كان شي محاضرة or a conference or presentation delivered by someone and so on, and then I intervened at the end, وكان مجموعة ديال المتدخلين who intervened in order to enrich the let's say the discussion. تدخلوا باش لإغناء، باش يغنيوا الموضوع، يغنيوا النقاش. هذه بعض المصطلحات الأهمية ديال prefix is very important, right? Actually, yeah, again, encircle, that means to make a circle around something. Now, again, D. Whenever you find D, that means you remove. To deconstruct. We got constructs, كتبني. Deconstructs, هدم هالشيء. Cool, right? To we got to code, coding, right? Decode, right? Again, you try to break the code, right? Yes. Demotivate. It means to make someone demotivated, demoralized, right? Instead of motivating him, right? Debone, that means you remove the bones. That's the meaning of de here. Pre, it means you do something before or earlier. As pretest. Pretest, it's a test that we execute or conduct before, maybe a certain process or treatment or an operation. That's called a pretest, right? اختبار قبلي. We got a pre-plan, right? Pre-plan, it means you have to plan before, right? That's to pre-plan, right? I mean, if you want to spend a good summer holiday, you got to pre-plan for it from now, okay? Otherwise, if you keep waiting until summer is in, maybe the holiday is not going to go very well. الواحد خصو يخطط للحاجه، باغي نقضي عطله الصيفيه مزيان، الو خصني بري بلان ليها، رايت تو بري بلان، ورايت ات مينز خصني نوجد لها، رايت ماشي نجلس تيدخل الصيف صافي، رايت العطله ما غادوش مريقله، رايت هو داخل الصيف، هو الناس يدخلوا عليك، الناس جايين مسافرين كذا، صافي ما عندك فين تمشي، ما عندك فين ولكن الا درتي لها خطه، صافي نهار الفلاني غنسافروا، رايت غنمشيو هنا غنمشيو هنا. That will be nice. Okay, so that's it. Great. There we go. Okay, so that's the meaning of pre-planning. I was talking about the summer holiday, pre-planning for summer holiday and so on. Pre-planning, it means you got to draw your plan, to put your plan down, right? Before, let's say, you do something, right? Prehistoric, again, as an example here, prehistoric area, let's say era, prehistoric era or prehistoric age, it means the age or the time before history, right? That's called
Yeah.
prehistory or prehistoric. Now, post is the opposite. It means you do something. It refers to the to the meaning of after, right? It indicates the meaning after. Here we say post-war. We're talking about the post-war era or post-war time. It means the time afterward, right? The post-war, the post-World War, let's say one. I mean, we're talking about the time or the period after this war. Again, we have here another example: postgraduate. Postgraduate. We're talking about a certain, stage. After your graduation بعد التخرج. المرحلة ما بعد التخرج كنسميوها post graduation. خاصة بعد الحصول على الإجازة مثلا the bachelor, right? Okay, so that's called post graduation. وقبل ذلك it's undergraduate, right? Undergraduation, right? Well, pro it means you are for. يعني أنت مع, right? You are pro. Someone is pro-American, right? We are pro-Palestinians, right? For instance, we are pro-Palestinian, right? So it means that you are with. Here we got pro-abortion, right? So some people are pro-abortion. البعض مع الإجهاض, right? يساندون هذا الأمر وإن كان أمر right? It's not good, right? Okay, so that's pro, right? It means you are with. Anti means, but your attention here, pro. Sometimes you might find it in a certain context, like professional. They just write pro. It does not mean this, this prefix. That's not a prefix, right? That's only an abbreviation for professional. الحاجة اللي كتلقى فيها pro كيقصدوا بها بروفيسيونيل، شي حاجه احترافيه كذا، ما لا علاقه لها بهذا البرو هذه، right? هذا prefix, right? Well, here we go. Anti, it means against. Whenever you find the anti, it means contre. Voilà. Anti-war protests. احتجاجات ضد, right? معارضة للحرب, right? Okay, there are many anti-war protests or anti-genocide protests in the whole world, in America, in Europe, as well as in the Arab world, right? Anti-nuclear weapons, right? يعني ضد الأسلحة ديال النووية, nuclear weapons. Anti-smoking campaign, حملة ضد التدخين وهكذا, right? So over, اللي كتلقى over ça veut dire فوق القياس, right? It's over the normal degree or the normal position or whatever, right? We say, for instance, to oversleep. For instance, to oversleep, it means you sleep more than the normal or the average number of hours that you should sleep, right? Yeah. For me, right, 6 hours is okay, 7 hours is okay, maximum 8 hours. But if I sleep just like maybe 14 hours. Oh, you overslept today, right? Yeah. That's over. It means over the normal degree, yes. Again, overpopulated, right? We're talking about some countries like China, Indonesia, and so on. Some Asian countries like China are overpopulated countries. Overpopulated, it means there is, a high number, right? The number of population is very, very high, right? Than the normal case, okay? You find many, just in the streets, right here, a huge number of people, right? That's overpopulated. يعني فوق كثافة سكانية زائدة, right? فوق اللازم, right? Under, whenever you find here under, that means below, right? Below the normal, case.
Yeah.
We have your underpaid. Some women, no women teachers, female teachers in the private school are underpaid in contrast to male teachers. We noticed that, right? Okay, so many private schools prefer female teachers because they are not well paid. They are underpaid.
Yeah.
They just get a very low salary. And guys, I don't know, guys, how many female teachers are in your class, in your school. Which one outnumber the other, right? Female teachers outnumber the male teachers, or the male teachers outnumber the female teachers in
And
your
the male teacher or
outnumber, right?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
There are many other considerations actually, right? Some private schools would say maybe females are not, maybe cannot commit to the courses and so on, right? They have a lot of troubles most of the time, health problems, health issues, just one of my,
Yeah.
anyway, right? Pregnancy, we got this question of pregnancy. Sometimes they got pregnant, so they need time to take relax, and again the baby needs to someone to take care of that of him, and so on. So that's why some private schools may prefer, right, male teachers instead. But there are many reasons anyway why private schools have different perspectives. Well, we have underpaid, undercook. To undercook, right? We say, hey, this chicken is undercooked. Undercooked, that meaning it's not cooked enough. مازال ما طيباش ما طيبتهاش. It's undercooked,
Yeah.
right? مازال قاصح هادشي، ما طيبش مزيان قاص. والعكس ديالها نقولوا overcooked، هذه طايبه اكثر من اللازم انت. This potato is overcooked, right? كلها دابت هنايا، right، في المرقة. Underworked again, so it means you know they don't work, maybe the average number of hours, or they don't work based on the on the average effort that they have to make, and so on. So that's underworked, right? I mean, some in this company, some people, they work over their capacity. They work, so they work a lot, right? And others don't work a lot. They just make very few, very little effort, right? I mean, and that's it. Well, miss. Whenever you find a miss, it means wrongly or badly. Like misunderstand, it means you understand in a wrong way. You didn't get the idea. Misunderstand. So تفاهم. Miss here. ما سمعتينيش مزيان، قلت شي حاجة وانت سمعتيها شي حاجة أخرى, right? Okay, so that's miss here. Mispronounce, right? I say sometimes at the very beginning of the school year, I tell to my teacher, my students, when I'm reading out, right, their names and so on, right, to make sure that to check for absenteeism, right? Please, I tell them, please correct me if I mispronounce your name, right? Because it's the first time to read your names, so sometimes you may make a mistake, and students would laugh, right? Because there are some crazy and strange family names. So that's miss, right? Means wrongly or badly. Self, it means by oneself, right? By oneself, without the interference of anyone else. Like self-educated. This person is self-educated. He didn't go to school at all. He educated himself by himself. Asami, self-educated, right?
Yeah.
Self-sufficient. Self-sufficient. يعني مكتفي بذاته. Morocco is self-sufficient when it comes to tomatoes and oranges, right? لا يحتاج إلى
Yeah.
استيراد الحوامض، لا يحتاج إلى استيراد الطماطم مثلا، وعنده اكتفاء ذاتي من حيث هذه المواد مثلا. That's self-sufficient, right? Well, none, it means not connected with. ولا لا علاقة له بكذا, right? ما فيش أي علاقة. No relevance, no connection. Non-governments or non-governmental. There are many non-governmental organizations in our country. يعني هنالك des organizations مؤسسات منظمات لا حكومية نسميها لا حكومية يعني ماشي ديال الدولة right يعني حرة
Yeah.
right ما عندهمش علاقة في السياسة ولا الدولة yes. Non-violence it means there is no they have no connection or no relationship with violence at all right. Non-violence protests. Talking about non-violence protests, it means these are right peaceful protests, right? There is no violence, right? There is no, anything that violates the rules and so on. X it means former or previous or precedent, right? Okay, former كان نهضروا على X it means شي حاجة سابقة. Like ex-president. Obama is the ex-president of the United States of America, right? الحسن the second is the ex-king of the Moroccan kingdom, right? Amina is the ex-wife of Mr. Ahmed, right? يعني زوجته السابقة كانوا متزوجين الآن في طلاق, right? They divorced, right? So ex يعني السابق, yes. Now, I would say this is my ex-friend, ده صديق, right? واحد شخص كان صديقا لي ولكن اتفرقنا, right? ما بقاش صداقة بيننا, يعني that's my ex-friend, right? He used it to be my friend, but later on he did something very bad. He behaved, right? He was impolite with me, so I broke up with him, right? Okay, so we're no longer friends. Sub it means very simply under, right? Say submarine غواصة, right? Marine البحر, submarine, right? مقصود, right? Vehicle, right? That moves underwater in the seabed. Submarine, subskill. Talking about your subskill, مهارة ولكن تحتية مهارة فرعية, right? We have skills, let's talk about language skills. And the language skills, we got reading, we got first of all listening, speaking, reading and writing. هذو كتسموا language skills, كتسموا skills. ولكن كل مهارة, كل skill, every skill, contains sub skills, different sub skills. كل مهارة إلا وهناك مهارات أخرى فرعية تحتها. مثلا reading as a skill, it contains other sub skills like scanning, like المهارة الفرعية ديال scanning كنطلبوا من التلاميذ كنطرحوا لهم مجموعة لي كيسيون باش يمشي يسكاني التكست مزيان وماشي لي ديتاي صغيورين. وكاين دي كيسيون اخرين اللي كيماس فيها واحد الساب سكيل اللي هي سكيمين هو يشوف الصوره, نقول ليه شوف الصوره, قرا العنوان, قرا السطر الاول كذا, وقول لي علاش كيهضر, عطيني لو the gist, right? the general message, right? عطيني الفكره العامه علاش كيهضر بلا ما تقرا النص كامل ولا لي ديتاي. That's sub skill, right? It means a skill under skill. Well, co it means together. Whenever you find co, it means together. Cooperate يعني تخدموا مجموعين. You can cooperate together يعني تعاون, ومنها جايه cooperation تعاونيه. Co-author, this book is co-authored by Ahmed and Amin. يعني كتاب كتباه معا, right? كتباه معا. We say this book has been co-authored by this person and this. Co-manage, to co-manage a company. يعني جوج غيقوموا بإدارة la société بجوج, right? To manage the company together. Co-author, as I said to you, it means this book has been written by two authors. Now, by, whenever you find by, that means two, or sometimes twice. We say this person is bilingual. Bilingual, it means he speaks two languages, right? Are you bilingual or trilingual?
Trilingual.
Yes, trilingual. You speak
yes.
Arabic? Yes. You speak English? It's okay. Let's say French, too, a little French, it's okay. So that's three languages. So we say try. So here it doesn't exist here, but we say try. Alors, il a try, ça veut dire trois. It means three. Like the tricycle, there is a cycle. We got a bicycle. when there are only two cycles, two wheels. If there are three wheels, we say tricycle. بحط reporter اللي فوق ثلاثة ديال. Okay, that's it. Bilingual, biannual. Biannual, it means, two every 2 years, great, and so on. Out. Out means more than or outdo another. Out, as I said before, I asked you, are the female teachers, do the female teachers outnumber male teachers? It means high. Out means high in number here in this situation. So out, it means فاق يفوقه في شيء معين، إما في العدد أو كذا أو كذا أو كذا، ليس بالضرورة عدد. Example here, we got outnumber, we got outweigh. outweigh يعني يفوقه وزنا وهكذا، right? hyper بحال اوفر شي شويه، right؟ بحال اوفر تقريبا. وهايبر يعني بطريقه حاده، عالي جدا بطريقه حاده، right؟ طريقه كبيره. hyper critical for instance، right؟ لما يكون نقد معين، هذه المقاله النقديه فيها نقد لاذع، نقد بطريقه يعني right عاليه جدا، we say hypercritical. This essay is hypercritical. Hypersensitive. Some women are hypersensitive. Hypersensitive, not just sensitive, they are hypersensitive. تقدر غير تغوت عليها وتبقى كتبكي right. We say it's hyper حساس، يعني مفرط في الحساسية right، أو في الإحساس وكذا. So it means, as I said before, sometimes it's the same, just like over sometimes, right? Okay, so next we have auto. Auto, it's very simple. It means it does something by itself, okay? Like autograph. I mean, it refers to oneself, right? Sometimes we say automatic, right? Sometimes autograph or autobiography. Autobiography here, it means when someone writes about himself, right? كان يكتب على راسي كنقولوا autobiography, as we say in Arabic, سيرة ذاتية. اوتوبيوغرافي، سيره ذاتيه، يعني كنكتب واحد الروايه ولا قصه وكذا على راسي، كنكتبها على حياتي، فين بديت، فين كنت، فين عشت كذا، اشنو حققت، اشنو درت، اشنو وقع لي كذا، right. Ça autobiography. I'm talking with the personal pronoun I, je. Voilà. So auto كترجع على self, oneself, right. Autonomous, we are talking here about autonomy. شي حاجه في التعلم بغينا نتلامد. We want that children should be trained in order to be autonomous learners. دابا التعلم، مناهج تعلم اللغة، ماشي غير اللغة ولكن أي التعلم عموما، المناهج الحديثة من بين الأهداف ديالها الأساسية بغات المتعلم أنه يكون autonomous. أشنو autonomous؟ يعني صافي يكتسب، يتدرب على مجموعة المهارات وكذا باش يقرا ويتعلم لراسو، ما بقاش يعتمد على الأستاذ، ما بقاش يعتمد على شي حد آخر، لا يكون autonomous. ما عرفش شي كلمة نعلموا ليه مهارات، نعلموا ليه كيفاش يقلب في الديكسيونير، كيفاش يستعمل واحد الابليكاسيون كذا كذا، صافي يحل المشكله ديالو لراسو، right. That's autonomy. هذه كتسمى autonomy، ذات تعلم ذاتي او الذاتيه في التعلم. Well, next we have micro. Micro, it means very small and very tiny. Microwave, microscope, or some or microscopic, right? Some viruses are microscopic. I mean, we cannot see them by mere or with mere eyes. We need to use a microscope, right, in order to see them. Multi, it means many, right? Multi means many.
Yeah.
By the way, we have here, we have seen by, and we have seen try. By, we say it refers to two. Try, it refers to three. And we have, another prefix that refers to only one. We say mono, right? We say mono. Someone who is monolingual, يعني كيهضر غير لغة واحدة. My mother is monolingual. كتهضر يلا غير تما تشاش الحيت، great. عارفة لا دارجة لا فرنسي لا شي حاجة أخرى. She is monolingual. وكنهضروا أيضا على monocycle, as we said. We haven't talking about bicycle, tricycle. وعندنا أيضا monocycle. ديك الفكره اللي فيها يلا غير الرويضه والسرج صافي. كده نفس السيرك. Yes, that's monocycle, right? Well, micro and then multi. Multi means many. Multinational. Right? So multinational, it means it includes different nations, right? متعدد يعني يعني على المستوى الدولي, right? It's multinational, right? Football, the world, let's say, as an example, the World Cup Championship, بطولات العالم, right? لكأس العالم is multinational. Why? Because it includes different nations and different countries. Competing against each other, right? Well, then we have multimedia. Multimedia, it means it includes different media, different forms of media, text, image, audio, video. That's it, right? Multimedia. Semi. When you find semi, it's half. Very good. Like semi-circular. نصف دائري, right? Semi-circular, right? And so on and so forth. Right, yes. Pseudo. Pseudo, it means fake. Tout simplement means false ou bien fake. مزور ولا خاطئ. Right. Pseudonym. For instance, right, when you create an account, some platforms or websites might ask you to provide a pseudonym. Pseudonym is just a username. It's not a real name, right? It's not your real name. Pseudonym. Pseudo-experts. Pseudo-experts, it means you're a fake expert. It's not a real expert, right? Pay attention, it's a scam. It's going to just to scam you, right? All right, scammer, right? Or scam, rather. Counter, it means opposite. There is an argument and there is a counter argument, okay? An argument contre, right? Counter argument, right? Neo, right? We got neo means new, all right? Like neo-colonialism, يعني الاستعمار الجديد. Neo-colonialism is basically cultural colonialism, وبالأساس استعمار ثقافي. الاستعمار الثقافي استعمار جديد. ما بقاش الاستعمار القديم دابا يجيب الجنود ديالو ويدخل كذا كما كيديروا في الصهاينة كذا. ولكن هناك استعمار جديد الآن. استعمار جديد يستعمرك في الثقافة ديالك. عن طريق العولمة، عن طريق التجارة الحرة، يدخل لك اللباس اللي ماشي اللباس ديالنا، ويخلي عباد الله كاملين لابسين اللباس في شكل ماشي ما كيعكسش الثقافة ديالنا، رايت اند سو اون. عن طريق التلفازة والأفلام والسينما ينشر الثقافة ديالهم، حتى كيولي الشباب كلشي خدا أفكار في شكل، خدا مسائل يعني غريبة. Right? So they to adopt different ideas that are against our cultures. So that's neo, right? It's some neo-colonialism, right? Or some sort of cultural colonialism, right? And recently I read about right. I read about some in Morocco here who want to create a new political party, and they called, I don't know whether it's been created or not. They called that political party Neo Moroccans, right? Neo Moroccans مغاربة جدد. هذا حزب جديد لعل المدعوة ماي ستعد له، right؟ إن لم يكن قد تم تأسيسه بعد. Well, let's see. We'll do this exercise, right? Okay, because we didn't start on time. We'll continue in just like 5 minutes to do this exercise and then stop. Well, let's of course we need to use right now the appropriate prefixes to convey the right meaning. Number one, please correct me. Excuse me, let me make it bigger. Please correct me if I happen to pronounce your name.
Repronounce.
To repronounce. To pronounce it again. Not really. Please correct me. Correct me. If I happen. في حالة ما إذا صحوا لي السمية ديالكم, right? I think I have given you an example at the beginning, right? I told you sometimes at the beginning of the year, of the school year, I read the students' lists, the names of the students, right? And but before that, I say, hey, right, please correct me if I pronounce your name. wrongly, it means if I pronounce your name in a wrong way or in a bad way, what's gonna be the you do something in a wrong way or in a bad
miss.
great, okay, mispronounce يعني أسأت النطق ديالي. If I mispronounce your name, please correct me, right? إلا نطقت السمية ديالك غلط حيت ما عرفتش كيفاش نطقها, please, you know. Well, number 2, you have to plan your summer holiday if you want to avoid problems or delays. To avoid problems, flight problems, and delays, and so on, you got to plan your well, let me show you. Well, let me help you. The answer will be here. Pre, okay? Pre-plan, right? Okay. Pre-plan يعني أن تدير شي حاجة avant, right? Pre-plan يعني تبلاني قبل العطلة ديالك, right? To avoid delay, to avoid problems, تتفادى المشاكل and delays وتأخرات and so on. Well, number 3, your essay is full of mistakes. I'm afraid you have to write it. Rewrite it again, yes, because it's full of mistakes. You got to rewrite this essay again. Well, number 4, most of the children of the Sahel in Africa are too thin because they are fed. You know what I mean? To feed, fed. To feed كتوكل. Alors ولكن
Yes.
هادو ما واكلينش مزيان. So they are underfed, right? They are underfed. يعني سوء الإطعام, ما واكلينش بما فيه الكفاية, right? Many children in Gaza, not children, but many people in Gaza are underfed because of the war of the Zionists against Gaza and people in Gaza. Well, number 5, it took the crime squad hours to arrest the armed terrorists. It's the squad.
X.
Are we talking about something before? No. You know what mean a squad? You know what mean a squad?
تشكيلة
هي فرقة.
أو فرقة.
المقصودة هنا فرقة ديال مكافحة الجريمة. الفرقة اللي ضد الجريمة, contre, right, the crime. So which one do you think is the right?
Counter.
Not really. ماشي بهالطريقة. Counter عندها استعمالات أخرى في المقام ديالها. You can find a word here, the prefix here.
Anti,
very good, yeah. Okay. Anti-war, anti-crime. Anti-crime يعني ضد الجريمة, مكافحة الجريمة. Yes. Okay, so good, great. So that's it. So we say anti-crime squad, يعني فرقة خاصة بمكافحة ضد الجريمة. Yes. Okay, good. Number 6. So your office is heated. Turn the heater off. You risk catching a cold when you go out.
overheated.
يعني راه سخنتي هاد الاوفيس هنا اكثر من اللازم, داك الشوفه اللي عندك, right? So you risk يعني انت تغامر انك يضربك البرد, تغامر بالبرد يضربك, right, when you go out, right? Okay, good. To catch a cold. Number 7, Greenpeace is an nuclear organization. هي منظمة organization at Greenpeace. Nuclear.
It's an anti-nuclear
Anti.
or
All right, anti. Okay, the same like the previous one here. It's anti-nuclear organization. يعني منظمة ضد يعني غادي كتخدم ضد استعمال النووي والتطوير ديالو, right? I think we have seen it here, right? Anti, here we go, anti-nuclear, all right? ضد. Okay, next number 8. Hold the baby with care. His muscles are still developed. His muscles are still
uh, no underdeveloped.
underdeveloped. ما زال ما لم تنمو بما فيه الكفاية, right? His muscles are underdeveloped, right? Well, good, right? Next, number 9. Recent statistics show يعني الإحصاءات الحديثة, right? Show that show that the population of the girls is in the world numbers that of boys. I mean, the statistics show that the number of girls, right? That girls in the world, the girls in the world, the number of boys. Remember the example I have given you an example again, where it talks about it's twice, and where it talks about teachers. No, over number. We don't use over in this situation. Okay, so I have given you an example about female teachers in your class, in your school, against, right, the number of male teachers. I told you which ones do the female teachers outnumber. Okay.
Outnumbers, yes.
Outnumber that of boys. Outnumber يعني تفوق عددا أو يفوقون عددا, right? Number 10 on the last one. I am afraid you got here charged me. The tag on the shirts says it costs $20, not 35.
Pre.
Why pre? No. I mean, you went to the supermarket to buy t-shirts, right? And then they charged you more.
Miss charge.
Not miss, Grace. Not miss, but they charged you more. A lot. Overcharged you, right? Overcharged. They overcharged you, right? Okay, you have overcharged me, right? Voilà. يعني ضربتوني مزيان, right? Yeah, right? You overcharged me. It means I had to pay more than the normal price, right? Than should be. Well, I think we shall stop here, and I give you just three examples of words to provide an example, right? Well, you're going to use the prefix miss in a sentence together with anti and the last one over. Yes. Can you use? Let's start with miss. Give me an example of a sentence or a word in which you use miss, right, as a prefix.
I mischoiced my bag.
Oh, I mischose my bag or my suitcase. Nice, great. Let's say miss. Okay.
Mistake. No.
تصدق mistake راجع من هذه, right? Well, I don't think it's a common word, right, to say miss. You can use mischoose, right? Yes, mischoose. Right, in a certain context, right? Well, right, that can be acceptable. That can be accepted, right? But I think if you can provide a better and a clearer example, right, using miss.
I mischoiced between my
Miss chose. Remember that
Miss
the simple past for choose
choose.
chose with only one O. Yes,
Yeah.
I mischose.
I I might choose between my my phone and my dad's phone.
Oh, yes, great and nice. Very good. That's acceptable. All right. Good. Sometimes also, right, I wanted to click on the red button, but I misselected, right? I misselected the right button, right? I mean, I didn't select the correct one. All right, good. That sounds good. Well, let's see over.
Uh, I overheat a chicken, uh,
You overcooked
but
it or you over.
overcooked it, yes.
Yeah.
But the family doesn't want to eat him because it's too hot or
So you are going to use overhead, right? Like I can
yeah.
say, you use overhead, right? Yeah, I overheated, right? The food, right? So no one, right, can, so none can, start eating, right? For instance, right? It happens sometimes. We say, go, Ryan, please go and hit the sauce so that we can eat lunch. And then you, right? You overheated the sauce.
Yes.
So when they try that, right, they find it difficult for them to start eating. They need to wait, and they are impatient to wait because they are angry,
Yeah.
for instance. Right. Well, the last one, the last example, anti.
Uh,
Anti comes together before. This is a prefix that is basically used with adjectives or nouns. We never use them with a verb, right?
hmm.
Not like some prefixes.
uh, the antisocial boys can't talk with us.
Antisocial. When you say anti, it means they are against something, right? They are against something, right?
Yes, can't talk with us or
Okay, so it's not clear example actually, right? Okay, so antisocial, right? Anti mostly used in a political, social context and so on, right? You can talk about environment, about something political. Talk about protests, demonstrations, protests against something, and so on. Anti, we're talking about anti-smoking
the,
campaign, right? Talking anti-environmental, for instance, or anti-pollution organization, right? يعني منظمة يعني
yes.
معارضة.
The anti-war
Activity.
conspiration
Uh,
like
yeah,
can't uh, uh, can't stop the war
can stop the war against,
war.
I don't know, guys, Gaza or whatever. Very nice. This is a good example. Or say the anti, let me say what is that? Excuse me, great. Let me check up, great, to look up a word, great. Says not to introduce a word, great, without having clear, great. Yes. Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay, so okay, besieged. Besieged, right. Okay, that's it, right? Blockade. Yes, and siege, yeah, that's correct. Yeah, we can give an example for, let's say, the siege حصار, right? Talking the anti-siege Turkish Marmara. Do you remember Marmara? That's the name of a Turkish ship that moved from Turkey to Gaza, right? In order to break the siege, but they couldn't, right? They failed, right? So we say the Turkish anti-siege Marmara or anti-siege ship, Marmara ship, right? Couldn't break the siege on Gaza, right? ما قدوش right يهرسوا مثلا الحصار. That's a good example actually, guys. Thank you very much for being with us, great Rayane, for this time. Today we introduced the meanings of the prefixes. We did an example of a task, inshallah, right? Next time we shall continue, inshallah, to with more tasks until we complete this course regarding prefixes. Once we finish with the prefixes, inshallah, again, we're going to start another course which has to do with suffixes. This will help you enlarge your vocabulary repertoire regarding the uses of prefixes and suffixes and word formation in general. Do you have any question before you go?
No.
All right, so that's for today. Pass my regards to everyone and see you next time, inshallah. All the best and goodbye.